I'm not sitting here and saying I'm against interracial dating. You know, I'm a participant every now and then. But what I'm saying,
my man.
what I'm saying is that like the irony and the hypocrisy is what gets me, and it's like, Black liberals are the worst offenders at this, right? They call us sellouts, they call us tokens, but here they are. You got Kamala Harris in her book, we talked about in the first episode, saying she felt sidelined by Joe Biden, like he wouldn't give her a win, like he gave her all the hard jobs or whatever, and then they call us tokens for being Republicans. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Have y'all noticed this trend too? It's like all of these people, they go on all these shows, they post all these tweets, they're going off about white people, but they're going home to one as well.
You want to take that
I
first?
mean, it all lets you know that this is all part of an agenda. Like, to get you to be more divisive, more hateful, more spiteful, more bitter towards somebody who doesn't look like you. Yeah. Because in what sense does it make to categorize all white people as being slave masters and these evil, incompassionate savages, and yet you sleep with one every night? And then some of you guys have bred with them. So what do you tell your children? Is half of them broken, cracked deep inside of them? Or what? Like, you feel me? And so it's like, what is it that you're doing? Why are you trying to make us hate somebody that you clearly love? What are you trying to hide from us? Because you know what? When they tell you, you better not come get you none of this, more than likely it's something you want some of.
That's not.
It might be that good credit CJ mentioned.
I mean, it's definitely the good credit, but you know, as y'all are talking and as you're saying what you're saying, I'm thinking of one person, Dr. Umar Johnson, because to me, one of the contradictions that we don't discuss is the snow bunny crisis.
Oh,
you see, if we investigate Kamala Harris's husband, her husband is lacking melanin just like she is, but her husband lacks melanin much more noticeably. You know, you look at Karine Jean-Pierre, you look at the entire left establishment. It's a very interesting narrative that they try to paint. You paint this narrative of white supremacy. You invoke Dr. Martin Luther King and say, oh, he was a champion of civil rights, not realizing that Dr. King's first love happened to be a white woman. You understand? But in spite of that, and looking at it from that context, Dr. King's dream was about the ability to be judged by the content of your character. Yeah. Now, the content of the character of people that spew narratives about how evil and oppressive the white man is, I don't know about you, but I ain't laying down with nothing in the sheets that oppresses me and my brothers and sisters in the streets. I just my daddy didn't raise me like that. He said you call out the BS, don't participate in it in secret. Yeah. But what do I know? You know, I'm just.
But that's the thing, though. It just goes to show they don't actually believe what they're saying. They're going on TV. You know, they're hoping to go viral. They're attacking all these white people, but again, they're always going back home to it. And it's like, that was just the list of people that I could think of off the top of my head. It's not even an exhaustive list. I'm sure there's so many more of these people that fall in that category where it's like they'll call these people white supremacists, bigots, all of these things, but then again, they're going back home to it every night. And it's Serena Williams is another one of them. It's just like the list is long. And again, like my entire thing, it's like I'm not sitting here and saying I'm against interracial dating. You know, I'm a participant every now and then. But what I'm saying,
my man.
What I'm saying is that like the irony and the hypocrisy is what gets me. And it's like, Black liberals are the worst offenders at this, right? They call us sellouts, they call us tokens, but here they are. You got Kamala Harris in her book, we talked about in the first episode, saying she felt sidelined by Joe Biden, like he wouldn't give her a win, like he gave her all the hard jobs or whatever, and then they call us tokens for being Republicans. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think what is so interesting with this, to go back to something that you said, they call us tokens for those of us that participate in interracial dating. Now, anyone that has watched my content, CJ, knows that one of the biggest things I promote is the Black nuclear family. Yeah. But I also say I have no problem with who you want to date, as long as you're not coming around talking shit about the race that you have left from a dating perspective. Yeah. But what I see more, and Michaela, I'm sure you may have observed this as well, is we see this sort of inflated hypocrisy the more progress that Black Americans make in leaving what you called the Democratic plantation in your first episode. Yeah. And I would imagine that you've seen some of those same experiences. I would imagine that that's also been the case.
Absolutely. And I feel like, you know, if we're coons for believing in something different or thinking differently than you, but you're not a coon for dating the very person who would have enslaved you 200, 300, 400 years ago. It's like, wow. So I'm a coon because I can be friends with somebody who you assume is a racist. But if all white people are racist, then how is it that you can lay in bed with that same racist? How am I the bed wench?
Like, is that a reformed white person in their eyes? Or like, I don't know.
Maybe
like,
they're transracial, so they don't identify as white. They don't identify as white.
You notice that Kamala Harris doesn't call him Doug, she calls him Dougie. So maybe he is transracial.
Yes,
maybe
it's like that subconscious, oh, let me do the dance.
Oh, she really
like
calls him
Kelly
Dougie.
Swagger.
for real.
She calls him Dougie. Dougie.
Oh, that's insane. I did not know that. I thought it was a joke. Like I literally thought that was a meme.
Like every interview, she's like, "That's my Dougie." That's what she calls him.
Yeah.
And you know that, but no, it truly is the hypocrisy. And what's interesting to me too is that they never call out, you know, their own. They never even acknowledge, you know, the fact of that they are living in hypocrisy, right? And no one ever checks them on it. And they just, because they always want to have this like absolutism about all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, again, like how do you, you know, like rectify within yourself, like doing what you're doing, but then going on and like, I don't know.
Because it's all an act, CJ. I think one of the things that we have to talk about on the left is they have what Dr. King called in many of his speeches, how people say they believe in God in one way. So they have a high blood pressure of creeds. They spew it out of their mouth, but the actions and the fruit that they bear is poisonous at minimum and non-existent in reality for most of these liberals. They love saying that, oh, we're Christian here, we love God, this and that, but it's all an act.
Yeah.
It's all an act and it's all a ruse. And the more that people wake up to this reality, you're going to see a general, this is why you're seeing more and more, and I think the more that we study American politics, you're going to continue to see Black Americans do this. A slow, steady drift either to the center or to the right of center at minimum.
Yeah.
Because people are waking up with the recent events that have happened in American history. They're waking up to start examining what is happening for themselves. Critical thought is actually having the first resurgence that I've ever seen in the history of the country, especially how it affects people that look like us.
Yeah.